ego. I should have known I was bound to get pulled into some bush. Sooner or later, you little haters are too jealous of us to love us. You hate it, Teofimo made it, and Loma's coming. You sick to your stomach. 50% of it. Sorry, that's a little Eminem. Lomachenko is complaining again. He's posting a video on his social media handle. What? He says he didn't really lose the fight, and it was a fake image of superiority or something to that effect. We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. Smash the like button. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Let's jump right into it. Teofimo, he got some clout off of beating Lomachenko, but Lomachenko ain't happy. If he in there, he ain't happy. Lomachenko keeps complaining. He's, at this point, made several different interviews and said that he wants a rematch. He says that Teofimo's team knew his shoulder was hurt and took advantage of it. He also said that the judges, it was somebody's game, and the judges were bribed or paid to believe that he won. Teofimo, that is, etc. Now he just posted a video on his social media, and it's just a mashup, a montage of Teofimo's missed punches. And Lomachenko is basically suggesting that whoever made this highlight, he basically saying that it was a fake. It's called the Imitation of Superiority, Loma versus Lopez. That's what it says, and it says CompuBox. So he's exceptionally salty that Teofimo won this fight. This, to me, this don't really prove the point, because it's showing, from what I was looking at, it looks like rounds 1 and 2, and it's just a bunch of punches that Teofimo missed. But anybody can make a highlight reel. Like, you can have a sparring session and then show the highlights of only the hits or the punches that you landed, right? So you would have to watch the 3-minute rounds, and I did that. I even had a Boxingego watch party that was very successful on the channel. And, I watched the fight. So doing a little highlight reel, I remember Teofimo beating you. I had him winning the fight. Now, there were punches that he missed, but Lomachenko, some of the rounds, like the round 1, you're showing him. Why not show round 12 where he was stinging you and he hurt Lomachenko? He's not going to show that on the highlight reel, of course. So it just looks like Lomachenko is exceptionally salty because, none of this is going to change. There's no foul play that you can prove. And it's so funny because it's so analogous to the Deontay Wilder situation. You have a black fighter from America who, in defeat, first pro defeat, this wasn't even Lomachenko's first pro defeat, but in Wilder's case it was, and you have a black American fighter, and people said, oh, get over yourself, you lost, just, tough it up, toughen up, cupcake and all this stuff, and you're making a bunch of excuses, and I can't support Wilder. But Lomachenko's doing much of the same thing and attempting to justify why he believes he was robbed and the judges were bribed and his shoulder. And you don't see that same concentrated energy that you've seen from old media. You don't see that in the case of Lomachenko. You don't see people calling and saying, hey, I'm never going to support Lomachenko, and the same stuff that they're saying to Deontay Wilder. So to me, the whole imitation of superiority, it doesn't get your belts back. However, I will say that, saying that to say this, rematch with Teofimo. See, the thing is, Teofimo's kind of taking his ball and going home. He says that Devin Haney, he wants an absorbent amount of money, $10 million. I don't really know in the pandemic. Bob Arum's always talking about the pandemic. I don't know if you're going to get that type of money for a fight like that, although it would be a good fight, and it would silence all critics about who's the undisputed champion, because the two guys with the prominent WBC belts, right, Devin Haney and Teofimo, would be up against each other, and we would get to see what it is and what it ain't, and as a result, it would clear the airways for that conversation. But it doesn't seem like Teofimo is, he's saying a couple things that he wants to fight him, but his actions and the fact that George Kambosos seems to be the priority for him in Team Lopez and Top Rank, it just doesn't give me strong vibes that that's what they want next. So with that being said, listen to what is being said. Teofimo is saying stuff like, oh, Devin Haney, or Bob Arum too. Bob Arum just did interviews and he said that Devin Haney, he's not an attraction. The fight doesn't move the needle. But how can you fight George Kambosos? And using the Lomachenko angle, if Devin Haney is not an attraction that you feel you could sell, even though I just told you it would justify who's the real, true, undisputed champion. So I would say Bob Arum's comments are cap. Aside from that, why don't you want to fight Lomachenko? The first fight was cool. People were interested in it. And Lomachenko keeps complaining. And he's saying, I'll never give Loma a rematch. So to me, Teo's in a bad spot. He's talking about, I only got 1 or 2 fights left at 135. A Lomachenko fight at 135, a rematch to clear the air to see who can make the adjustments or whatnot, wouldn't be a bad fight. And it would be no lesser than a fight with George Kambosos. But it tells you the real situation that's going on and what type of time they're on. Like, why not give Lomachenko a rematch, which is a better fight than George Kambosos? So you're probably not going to get Ryan Garcia. I could see Tank Davis getting him before you, right? Devin's calling you out, and you're saying you want this amount of money, plus you're already undisputed, so that you don't have to. And Bob Arum's saying that the Devin Haney fight brings nothing to the table. Okay, fight Lomachenko then. That's still a better fight than George Kambosos, you know? So I think Teofimo, he doesn't necessarily know this, but he's in a predicament, because if you fight George Kambosos, you could say, oh, it's a mandatory, but how many times have fighters sidestepped mandatories and cleared the path to fight the bigger fight, or unifications or rematches, things of that sort? So boxing, they try to play a lot of games, and it's really an insult on the fans' intelligence. When Canelo has a mandatory like Charlo, or Triple G has a mandatory like Charlo, somehow, some way, those great fights don't manifest. It's like, oh, I can't fight my mandatory because of this. When Triple G was supposed to fight Derevchenko the first time, when Derevchenko was his mandatory and he was the champion, some reason Triple G couldn't do. Oh, hey, no, guys, hey, Derevchenko, nobody, everybody, right? He couldn't do it. But then when his mandatory is someone that nobody wants to see him fight, like Dominic Wade or Camille Sesmeta, those fights happen, no questions asked, no problems. So we'll see. Teofimo, I would definitely like to see a Lomachenko fight if it's not going to be a Devin Haney or a money fight with like Ryan Garcia. And I don't think the Devin Haney fight's going to happen, and I don't think he'll get his hands on Ryan Garcia before Gervonta. So Lomachenko would be a hell of a consolation prize, especially if he's doing all this stuff and saying he'll lose. You know, and it's funny that old media, they say that Lomachenko Lopez was such a banger and stuff, but now because Teofimo's not pushing for the rematch and you're not really hearing it from Top Rank, they're staying to code and acting like a rematch between Lomachenko Lopez is not better than a Kambosos fight. So as far as I'm concerned, they're kind of in a pickle with this situation, because Kambosos fight, no disrespect to him, but that's the lowest on the totem pole out of the other options. And that's the fight that's probably most likely. Lomachenko feels he was robbed. You know, any other fighter like Ward Kovalev, Mayweather Maidana, Mayweather Castillo, anytime there's any level of controversy, it's almost expected. Wilder versus Fury, it's almost expected for the black fighter to set the record straight. So it would be good to see Teofimo set the record straight with Lomachenko in a better fight, if he's not going to clear the air with the undisputed by fighting Devin Haney or get money fights with Gervonta or Ryan Garcia, which don't look to be likely. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know how I did in this video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego. A storm is coming. Conor McGregor, the rematch is here. Poirier versus McGregor 2, only on ESPN Plus. Use my link in the description. UFC 257. I'll see you at the fights.
Who the fuck is that guy?
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.